On the night before Christmas, what do boys dream of? No visions of sugar plums for today's kid. They've got a one-track mind. Visions of Lionel train, highballing around the track with all the extra speed and extra power of Lionel's exclusive Magnetraction, a permanent magnetic grip exerted through the all-steel wheels and axles of the locomotive. Magnetraction is just one of the engineering advances in the train that have been the world's finest for over 50 years. Lionel train. There's everything you ever hoped for. All the real-life thrills of big-time railroading. Remote-controlled trackside equipments. And real-life operating cars. With such realistic details as operating knuckle couplers on every car. Two-tone steam whistles and diesel horns. And clean white smoke. Exactly the way he dreams of it.
The American Tobacco Company, America's leading manufacturer of cigarettes. Lucky Strike. Pall Mall. Herbert Tarrington with the genuine cork tip presents Danny Thomas. Gene Hagen as his wife, with Sherry Jackson and Rusty Hamer as their children, in Make Room for Daddy.
Friends, smoking enjoyment is all a matter of taste, and the fact of the matter is...
Lucky's tastes better.
Cleaner, fresher, smoother.
Lucky's tastes better.
Cleaner, fresher, smoother. For Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. Richer, clean things, fine tobacco.
Lucky's tastes better.
Cleaner, fresher, smoother.
Lucky Strike,
Lucky Strike.
Sure, Lucky's taste better. Why, everybody knows Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. Fine, light, mild tobacco that just naturally tastes better. And Lucky's are made better. They're round and firm and fully packed to draw freely and smoke evenly with fine tobacco in a better-made cigarette. Golly, you're just bound to get better taste. Smoking enjoyment is all a matter of taste. And the fact is...
Lucky's tastes better.
Cleaner, fresher, smoother.
Lucky Strike,
Lucky Strike. Sitcom All Ye Faithful, a Christmas podcast special. And for the fifth time I discuss 25 Christmas sitcom episodes. Please come and listen as we count down to Christmas. You should see Mr. Wilson, Tom Hanks, and Danny Thomas. Sherman Hemsley will return, and we head back to Springfield. We're definitely spending Christmas in Springfield. Christmas!
Happy holidays, happy holidays. Happy December, everybody. Happy holidays and happy day one, and welcome back to day one of Sitcom All Ye Faithful, where this year, for some reason, I decided to do a rock version of the theme song. It felt like a good idea at the time. We'll see how it pans out. If you're going to fast forward through it for 25 straight days, that's fine too. You're already here, already gotcha. It's fine. If you are not familiar with that version of the song, it is an instrumental version that I think someone probably made, but it is a cover, obviously. And if the drums at the beginning sound familiar, it is because that is the music from Twisted Sister's Christmas album. Yes, Twisted Sister put out a Christmas album, and that was one of the songs was "O Come All Ye Faithful," which of course now has been bastardized into this year's theme song. It is December. And what's crazy is December rushed up on me very quickly. If you are not familiar with other things I do outside of this podcast, it has been a very busy time over at fansnotexperts.com. Of course, it's football season, so every week I've been putting out an episode of Patriots Afterthoughts. It's always movie season, so every couple of weeks we're putting out episodes of fine movies, fine spirits, and of course, the return of Stranger Things marks the return of Stranger Danger, which also was what I've been doing for the last couple months, because I was doing this rewatch where I watched, much like Joggist and much like Marty McFly, I started something where I watched a bit of Stranger Things every day. Well, not every day. Every episode, I would break it up into 10-minute segments. So I would put out an episode covering 10 minutes of Stranger Things Season 4. If I did the whole series, I never would have made it here. So it was a Season 4 rewatch that I started last summer, and then I procrastinated on because of this podcast, mostly because of Geek Mentality. But I got back to it after Joggist finished and really pushed through a lot of September and then a crazy amount in October and even more in November to get to the season premiere, which just came out last week. And today, as Sitcom All Ye Faithful premieres, Season 5 of Stranger Danger also premieres. And of course, there's a Monday Night Football game tonight. So just go to fansnotexperts.com for all your podcasting needs. And if you don't know, we just rediscovered and recovered Planes, Trains, and Automobiles over at Fine Movies, Fine Spirits. And we will be talking about 8-Bit Christmas very, very soon. But today is all about Christmas sitcoms. And today we are going back to an early sitcom. My friends, we're going back over 70 years, almost 72 years to a sitcom. I guess you'd call it a sitcom. It was a situation comedy, and the situation being a guy who has a family and also runs a club. I think that was just the thing then, because a lot of these guys probably not ran a club, worked in a club. And I think a lot of these guys were these club entertainers, and they're like, well, give him a show where he's a club entertainer. It's like Seinfeld, but without the humor. It's like I Love Lucy, but without the humor. And I mean this in a way that there were chuckles, there were smiles, but I feel like this is such an early time in television that they didn't quite know what to do with their shows. So they get a performer like Danny Thomas, legendary performer, and I guess he's a legendary performer. I know him from being on the Danny Thomas Show. And are there rumors about him? There might be. I don't know exactly, but I'm not going to go into them. But if you type in Danny Thomas rumors, I think, and nothing is like, he's a horrible person. I don't even know. Was he a horrible dad to Marlo Thomas? That's who I know first. He seemed like he wasn't the best coworker to his wife in this version of the television show. So, but I don't know much about him. I just know him. Like, it's this guy like, Danny Thomas, he's an old-time performer. That's all I know of him. This was my first time watching an episode of any of his shows. This show was called Make Room for Daddy for 3 seasons. Then it got canceled, and I think Lucille Ball said, come on over to our network, bring it back. He's like, all right, but I'm going to call it the Danny Thomas Show, and we're bringing in a new wife. I don't know if it exactly I think he brought in the new wife before the end of the series over at one of the networks. I think it went from CBS to ABC, but I could have it backwards. Apparently, he hated the woman who played his wife. And when I say played his wife, I mean her character's name was his wife. They said, starring Danny Thomas, and they said another actress, whatever her name was. Oh, I'll tell you right now because I have. And Gene Hagen as his wife. And starring Sherry Jackson and Rusty Hammer. Okay, Rusty Hammer. That sounds, well, okay. He plays Rusty Williams. And I don't even know if that's better. As the kids. This show, as I said, was, they didn't know, I think, what to do with television yet. And why I say that is because the way the acting was, it was definitely like we're doing this for the audience here because it must have been done in front of a live studio audience. It almost felt like the show could have been live. It was, very much felt like a stage play. You start off with the family. You start off with Danny and his coworkers. That's about 10 minutes of setup of why the show, what's happening on the episode. Then you get 10 minutes of the actual stage show that Danny Thomas puts on with his two partners in crime. I don't know if I think they're a husband and wife song and dance team. Again, I don't know anything about this show. It's not like watching an old episode of Leave It to Beaver and being like, oh, there's Wally, oh, there's the Beav, and I don't even like saying that. But it's not like, there's so many shows that you're familiar with, but maybe you haven't seen every episode. This was a complete blank slate. So I was surprised at how it was constructed. And I was like, they're still doing the show where so here's the premise of the show. So we have his wife and his kids are at home and they're waiting for Danny to get home from his club. I think he was flying back and just in time for Christmas. Isn't that always the case? Now the little boy was very upset. He doesn't believe in Santa anymore, and they're trimming the tree, but they're saving a part of decorating the tree. They're saving a part of the tree for Daddy. For Daddy. And it comes to find out, Daddy can't come home. They don't have to make room for Daddy because he has a contract where the club owner was a big son of a bitch. And he said, sorry, I need you here over Christmas, and it's in your contract. And he has this long contract, and he's like, you can't leave. And he's like, you're the worst club owner ever. And so he and the husband and wife song and dance team have to stay, have to perform. And he talks about, he's like, I don't want to be here. Then he calls his wife, I'm really sorry. Don't cry. I'm really sorry. Then he gets a 10-minute performance where he basically shits all over his wife. I'll tell you, she doesn't like money, or she doesn't cook anymore. And she loves shopping. She doesn't know anything about income tax. He talks about income tax. I used to make $10. Now he makes $10,000. And now I owe this much money. I owe hundreds of thousands now. Ha ha. He says, I've sold out for years, and when I was young, I owed $100. I thought I would never get out of it. Now that I'm successful, I owe hundreds of thousands, and everyone laughs. They literally get a full song and dance of the husband and wife. It's like, I don't know if these people I feel like it's still, is it too late to call it vaudeville? Is that early on? I don't know, but it had that sensibility to it. Very much stage performance. And we literally just watched this as they perform. And at some point, Danny's looking right into the camera. Now, this isn't a TV show. He's not working on a TV show that it's in front of a studio audience. He's in a club. I think it's the Copacabana. And but at some point, he's just looking at the camera, talking to people, talking about his mean boss. And they just do this whole show. We get the whole performance. Then afterwards, he's like, the boss gets him a penthouse, to stay. And he's like, oh, I'm not happy about this. You think this is going to make up for it? He goes, and there's mistletoe. What am I going to kiss you? And then a curtain opens up and his wife says, or you can kiss me. Oh, it turns out the boss flew the entire family to see him in Detroit. I want to say, I think it was Detroit. To spend time with him. He's like, I don't get you. I thought you were a terrible boss. Now you're a great boss. And then the son still doesn't believe in Santa. And the mother tries to say something. He goes, listen. He goes, hey, I can explain it. His father should be able to explain it. I was like, ooh, there's some old-fashioned talk right there. So you get him trying to explain why Santa is real, why he can come, even though there's no chimney here. It's kind of funny. It's just old-fashioned, like, cute humor. Where he tries to explain it, and the wife's like, okay, you said you can explain it. So the kid still doesn't believe it. He's like, I'm not going to get my presents. He goes, of course you're going to get your presents. I sent them parcel post, which I never heard the term parcel post until my in-laws. My late father-in-law, and I think my mother-in-law still says parcel post, talking about UPS. It's like home box is HBO, parcel post is UPS. But he sent it back to the house. Now they're here, so he's not going to get his friggin' gifts. All the stores are closed. The boss comes through again and brings in all the gifts, including a bicycle. I don't know how he got the exact bicycle. And he's like, oh my goodness, you better watch out, that mistletoe. He would kiss him again. They were all excited. Now we didn't get to see the Christmas morning. At least the version I saw. I watched. It is available on Tubi. There's a link in the show notes to the Tubi, or you can watch the version I watched on YouTube. And the reason I like the YouTube version is because it had commercials in it. It had one commercial for a watch, a beautiful watch, $17.95 that you can put a photo in, like the old-fashioned those expandable watch bands. You know, the ones that are like elastics, but they're metal, but it's like an elastic band. At the end, there's a clip. I guess this was a clip. And in the clip, you could put a photo. You could put a photo of your family, or you could put a photo of your sweetheart. And I was thinking to myself, or if you have a family, put a photo of your sweetheart, or, and they'll never know because it's in your watch. But that was just, that was an interesting commercial to see. But really, the exciting the commercials, I should say, was the fact that this show was basically fueled by the tobacco industry, by the Great American Tobacco Company, makers of Lucky Strike, as well as some other cigarettes. Apparently American Tobacco just makes a bunch of different cigarettes, including one that has a cork like filter or some shit like that. It was just, and you have a woman talking about how wonderful these cigarettes are. The taste and the feeling you get is much better than any other cigarette. And I think of Lucky Strike, I automatically think of Mad Men and the whole Lucky Strike campaign. But we get commercials showing the importance of them going to the tobacco auctions to buy the tobacco, to get the greatest, best tobacco for your cigarettes. We see the cigarettes being made. We see Danny Thomas at the end thanking them for their support, and showing the 3 different Lucky Strike and the 2 other. I can never remember the 2 other cigarettes. I say I never remember. It's only been today. I don't remember what they are. But Lucky Strike stood out, and just the fact that there was so much cigarette talk in the episode. I don't remember when cigarettes were became illegal to advertise cigarettes. It was definitely well into my childhood. That cigarettes could still have commercials. I mean, I remember the Marlboro Man, but that's really the only one I remember. It's funny seeing these old commercials where they have doctors come on. They have Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble smoking. It's when you realize what companies knew after they found out, and they still hid stuff and all these things. It is just kind of disgusting that you're seeing this. But at the same time, it's hilarious that they were such a big advertiser in television. So as I said, this show premiered December 22nd, 1953. And what I like to do is look up what we have for what else was on television on December 22nd, 1953. And there's not a great deal. Now, that could be because things weren't on, or it could be because this report, this website doesn't have a complete, full report of what was airing that day. But it does show that on ABC, okay, so it was on ABC for the first 3 years before moving over to CBS. On ABC was the Danny Thomas Show at 9 p.m. Of course, it was Make Room for Daddy back then. And again, if you search Make Room for Daddy on it, really make sure you know what website you're searching Make Room for Daddy on, because the results could be very catastrophically different. So at 9:30 was the U.S. Steel Hour. I have no idea what the U.S. Steel Hour is, but it sounds like it was some sort of variety show sponsored by U.S. Steel. What else do we got here? Is there anything else for ABC? Oh, then at 10:30, so U.S. Steel went from 9:30 to 10:30. The Name's the Same. That's a brand new episode of The Name's the Same. Over on CBS, we don't have anything showing until 9:30, where Suspense, a new episode, The Gift of Fear, followed by Danger, with the episode titled Prelude to Death. And over on NBC, because there were only 3 networks, remember, this is your television. Fireside Theater at 9 p.m. with the episode Practically Christmas, a brand new episode, followed by 9:30 p.m. the Armstrong Circle Theater, The Tree in the Empty Room, and then at 10 p.m. Judge for Yourself. What else was going on that day? Well, we do see some other shows that were on that day. Glamour Girl, The Kate Smith Hour, Welcome Travelers, Follow Your Heart, Bennett's, On Your Account, 3 Steps to Heaven, Bride and Groom. That was on NBC. Oh, and something called Hawkins Falls. Hawkins. Let's hope Hawkins doesn't fall. Boom. Over on CBS, The Jack Pear Show, Search for Tomorrow, Art Linkletter's House Party. Ooh, that sounds like a rave. I'll buy that. Guiding Light, The Big Payoff, Strike It Rich, The Gary Moore Show, Valiant Lady, and Double or Nothing. And then on ABC, we had The Jerry Lester Show, Turn to Friend, and Cavalcade of America. These were shows that kind of were on before, outside of primetime is what these shows were. But in primetime, really the only show that I could even tell you is familiar is The Danny Thomas Show. And it was quite a show, from the commercials of all the cigarettes to the fact that it really was 10 minutes of performing, surrounded by a little bit of sitcom actual story. Just told me again that this is the early days of TV where they just don't know what to do with the medium yet. So let's do exactly what we do elsewhere. Let's put on a show and we'll just write little stories around it. At least that's what it seems like here with these show and these producers. And that's it. That's really, I got nothing else for you. But here we are. It's December and we're going to be doing this for 25 straight days. Now, for years, I would end every season of Sitcom All Ye Faithful on the 25th with a Christmas episode of Happy Days. And there is no more Christmas episodes. There was one episode that I thought was Christmas related. I think there is some sort of tree involved, but really it's just Richie trying to take photos of some chickies he's got the hots for. He wants to take her up to Inspiration Point or Blueberry Hill or something, wherever they go. But I read the synopsis. I watched a few minutes. I said, this is not a Christmas episode. Unfortunately, that means we are retiring the Happy Days finale for Sitcom All Ye Faithful. And I thought, well, what could we bring in as a new show that becomes the finale every year? And I think we have a good one. It is an old Sitcom All Ye Faithful episode. I should say an entry, this series, way back in year 1. And if all goes right, if this show continues on, we'll have years and years and years of this show and these Christmas episodes to talk about. So fear not that the show will go on, and every Christmas day will end with another repeat performance from this show. What show is it? Well, you're going to wait 24 days and you'll find out. But of course, for the most part, I try to do shows I've never done before, which is why we're on the Danny Thomas Show. There's going to be shows that I never thought of watching. There's going to be shows that maybe I did watch and I don't remember. I am going to look up, and I am looking for things left and right. But I needed to at least find a handful of shows that I knew had Christmas episodes so that I could write that awesomely rocking theme song. But that's it. I am done. I will be back tomorrow to talk more Christmas sitcoms. But until then, you can follow me on all the socials at Geek Mentality, except TikTok, which is Geek Mentality Mike. The Facebook page, of course, is Fans Not Experts. The YouTube channel is Fans Not Experts. Every episode of Sitcom All Ye Faithful is available on the YouTube channel. That's because why is the YouTube channel called Fans Not Experts? That's because the website where all my podcasts are is fansnotexperts.com. I'm done. I'll see you tomorrow, my friends. But until then, thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. It's been a while since I said this, so here we go. Me. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. And here is my theme song.
This is my podcast. I made it. Geek Mentality's what I named it. And I think you should listen and subscribe. 'Cause I'm kinda funny and awesome. I think that I'm worth your time, and I'm kinda handsome. My mom says, please listen and please subscribe. At least listen to this episode.
Fans Not Experts.